Poetic Imagination in Japanese Art is an ambitious exhibition that traces the enduring and evolving relationship between poetry and visual image in Japan from the 8th to the 20th century. As the visitor walks through the exhibition, he or she will encounter 4 different types of art, 4 different eras of art, and 4 different relationships with poetry. Mary and Cheney Cowles are collectors based in Seattle, and as I looked at some of the works in the exhibition, I felt that some of the most moving, some of the most profound works are quiet and reserved, and they reveal their secrets slowly. That's, curiously, I think, an analogy for Cheney Cowles' character. He's quiet, and you only discover him with an investment in time. But this same collector embraces crazy exuberance, and you see examples of that in the exhibition as well.
Memory Unearthed is one of the most powerful exhibitions I have ever worked on. The photographs are drawn from the collection of Henryk, who was a Polish photojournalist who lived in the rather large city of Lodz, which is centrally located in Poland. When the Germans occupied Lodz and Poland, they created a Jewish ghetto in Lodz, and Henryk was sent there. Because of his photography background, he was employed by the Nazis to make propaganda photographs and also ID photographs for the individuals who were confined to the Lodz ghetto. And during the time that he worked there, he also hoarded film and would secretly take photographs of daily life of those who were confined to the ghetto.
Paris 1900 explores the rich artistic vitality of the capital during the Belle Epoque, a period of peace and prosperity that lasted from about 1870 until the First World War. This exhibition will feature more than 300 objects that bring out the richness of the period, from paintings, drawings, prints, textiles, decorative arts, sculpture, jewelry, and technology. Paris 1900 will be an immersive experience for visitors. It will be like walking down a street in Paris, where you'll see the paintings that would have been on display. You'll recognize the types of people you might have seen on the boulevards, and you'll get a taste of the fantastic nightlife that made Paris famous the world over.
Modern American Realism is a selection of paintings and a few sculptures that were put together by the Sara Roby Foundation in the middle of the 1950s up through the early 80s. Mrs. Roby was absolutely committed to the idea that realism was the way that artists could express their most profound feelings and reach everybody in the world. I had met Don and Brian in Washington, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so, and we talked about the possibility of the show coming here. Partly because Mrs. Roby's son, Joseph Roby III, lives in Portland. And we thought, that would be really super to bring the collection to Joe and to Joe's museum.
The Map is Not the Territory is a group exhibition, in many ways celebrating work being done right now by this region. And within that, looking at these larger themes, bringing Indigenous values to the forefront, efforts toward decolonization. What does it mean to gather? What does it mean to commune? And think about that sort of positive aspect in this group exhibition. There's some major themes in the exhibition that really was not something that I imposed as a curator, but something that I felt was coming up in conversations with the artists. One is bringing Indigenous values to the forefront. What does that mean? What does that look like? How are the artists thinking about these things? I feel like we're at a time of reckoning where we really need to embrace Indigenous knowledge universally to take care of the earth. So I hope that with Map is Not the Territory, it will allow the viewer a sort of moment to reimagine the possibilities of a different sort of community or a sort of different sort of way of gathering, and one that is brought together by real deep shared values.
For 2019, we've got a ton of stuff coming up. Of course, Northwest Filmmakers Festival, Portland Book Festival, Japanese Currents, Real Music, Portland International Film Festival, summer camps, classes year-round, screenings year-round, a ton of different types of film series. This year is a year of great transition for the Film Center, so right now we are actively seeking our new director, and that's actually just been a great opportunity for us to think about the history and the legacy of the Film Center, the films, the makers, so many amazing voices that have come through. And then of course to think about what the future holds. So how we might continue to activate students in our classrooms, how we might continue to engage audiences in the Witzel, and of course partnerships with friends in the community, new and old. There's always a lot going on at the Film Center. I encourage you to check out our website, nwfilm.org, to see all the amazing stuff that we have going on, and we hope to see you either in class or at the movies.